Welcome to the live webinar series with me, Lena Benjamin, property consultant and online membership at Benjamin Property Services and Property Business Club. Now, in these live webinar series, we're going to be going through London property investing strategies, and in particular, we'll be looking at house of multiple occupants, serviced accommodation, student accommodation, nursing homes, split title, corporate housing, commercial to residential, buy, refurb, flip, and buy, renovate, rent, refinance. Now, in this particular webinar, on the first live webinar, we'll be going through buy, renovate, rent, refinance strategy. Now, just to give you a bit more information about Benjamin Property Services, the value we bring is over 10 years of landlord, real estate agent, and global PLC built environment experience, working collaboratively with other experienced property professionals to deliver London and Kent property purchases for cash flow, profit, or equity. Now, in the London and Kent areas in particular, we look at investment sourcing, so sourcing for investment, for income, rental. In the London and Kent areas, we look at flip sourcing, making sure that we buy, refurb, and sell the property quickly for profit. And we look at relocation sourcing, so those in other parts of the UK and all over the world who want to relocate, and they're looking for us to find them a property that they can purchase, or properties that they can purchase for their wealth creation. We also look at project managing refurbishments and or structural changes in relation to increasing value from cash flow, profit, or equity on the real estate investments or home. And we also do area tours for property purchase as well. Now, we source and negotiate the purchase of all the real estate directly with the property owner in the London and Kent areas on behalf of entrepreneurs, executives, and enterprises worldwide. Now, getting back to the BRRR strategy, so buy, renovate, rent, refinance strategy. Now, the buying process is having an understanding as an investor, as an investor, the type of tenant you have in mind. Well, that would then lead to understanding the type of property that you're looking to buy. Now, in the BRRR strategy, you want to make sure that you buy below market value. So directly with the vendor that we would source on your behalf, and we would find those properties for you, and we would negotiate a below market value deal on your behalf. Now, we're looking at those vendors, those landlords, those property owners who are financially distressed in that they do not want to be part of the property anymore. They don't want to have the property on them anymore. They want to release the property. It's taking up too much maintenance. They've got rid of their tenants, or they've got rid of the need to keep the property, and they want to get rid of it, and it needs some bit of refurbishment and going over. So we're looking at sometimes financially distressed properties that need to be overhauled in a way. So we'll look at off-market ones. So we'll look at those, and we'll go, once we've had the brief from you, we'll look to source those particular properties in the area with the types of tenants that you're looking to buy or to actually rent from you. And then we look to go directly to those vendors and negotiate a deal on your behalf. Now, these will be in prime or regeneration areas, usually in the regeneration areas, because you know that they are going to be, over time, going to be built up. So you want to look at those properties that need a rundown, but in an area that is regenerating. So it's got those transportation links, it's got those opportunities that you can increase the value over time, but you know tenants are going to want to rent those particular properties because they're near to transportation links, or the local economy is good and there's jobs around there as well. So all of this is about due diligence, and that's what we're all about. We have the experience to do so in order to find out what is happening in those local communities. We are based in the London Borough of Bromley. We'll come back onto that in a minute. So we know the areas very well. We've invested here, and we know the areas very well, where people frequent, and that's how you do your due diligence within the areas that you're looking at as well. Now, going back to Property Business Club in particular, on terms of the UK real estate wealth with online membership. We have this in particular for people who don't want us to do it on their behalf and they want to do it themselves. So if they want to do a DIY themselves and actually create their own wealth by learning what it's all about. And so we have the actionable content on the website benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk in order to find the types of information that will allow you to establish UK real estate wealth with this online membership of the Property Business Club. So you'd also get with that, as well as the actionable content that you can access via the website once you become a member, and you'll get instant access to this actionable content. You also get off-market deal property alerts, which will be sent either via email or they will be uploaded onto the platform. You also get service discounts as well, should you wish to utilize our standalone project management of real estate. We usually charge £500. We would charge a lot less for you as members of the Property Business Club. Now, there are two plans. There's a monthly plan or there's the annual plan. Now, with the annual plan, this includes the 2 hours of online real estate mentorship, and that is per month through the duration of the 12-month plan. Now, you can join, as I said, and sign in via benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk. Now, back to the BRRR strategy, that's Buy, Renovate, Rent, Refinance strategy for the London Property Investing Strategy webinar series. Now, it's Renovate. Now, the Renovate is all about the making sure when it comes to buying that there is the feasibility of work there to actually convert it into increased cash flow. So when you're looking at those regeneration areas and those areas that, and the property is in particular, that is going to be refurnished, re-renovated, you're looking at the feasibility of work to actually construct it in a way that will increase the conversion, the ROI on that. So where you want to buy low, you want to make sure you refurbish to be able to increase the value of rental for that particular property. And when it comes to due diligence, we'll see how much in particular people are paying within the area on properties that are of a higher specification, and then we look at that market value in order to determine what is feasible here. Now, if you're renovating it into just a single let, then we'll know that, but usually we'll look to do something that for professionals that would want to buy, rent a room, for example. So they're in between things, and they may be contracting, or they may be a contractor in the city, or they may be doing something else in the area, and they just want, a quick 6 to 12 months sort of house of multiple occupants type of environment where they can actually save whatever they need to save or move on when they need to move on. So you may want to look at HMO, and we'll look at the feasibility of that, because obviously that would increase the cash flow per month, and that's one of the actual strategies that we're going to be looking at through the course of these webinars as well anyway. But on a single let, we'll look at the feasibility and how much what you can actually achieve from that let, and the work that would need to be done. So whether it be putting in a bathroom, new bathroom, kitchen, and make sure that it's to a great specification that would allow you to do that. Now, we'd look, if it is going to be a HMO, for example, house of multiple occupants, we'll look to get the planning department involved with the local authority, that's local government, to the actual area, just to make sure everything's okay. The permitted development rights are all about the conversion from commercial to residential. Usually there's not any planning consent needed there, because there is a decrease of housing in certain areas, so we need to build up, there's a housing shortage, so we need to build up that as well within certain areas of the London and Kent areas. And so you want to, when it comes to renovation of stuff within the area, you want to make sure that you get local community involved in that as well, so that they know what's happening and they know what's going on in their local area, to avoid any kind of clash or any kind of unnecessary you know problems with the particular property and the tenants that you're going to be having in there. You want to make sure that you get to know the local community, and that's what we do when it comes to actually finding those areas and talking to those people and understanding the needs of the community, and what type of tenants would be well placed there in those communities. Now, if you're looking at, when we looked before at when it comes to buying, it's understanding the types of tenants for those particular areas. Is it a family area? Is it a young professionals area? So you want to know the types of tenants that you're looking for. That then will determine what type of areas in the London and Kent areas that you're looking at. Now, as I said before, we look at the London areas and Kent areas, in particular, the zones 1 to 4 in the prime and regeneration areas of London. So zones 1 to 4 is the Transport for London transportation zones in those areas. So there's 33 London boroughs in the whole of London, and we look at those particular those particular areas and the properties within those areas to do the BRRR strategy. And we are based in the London Borough of Bromley, which is in Kent actually, and it is actually very close to the city of London and the London area in particular. And you can see it on the map if you're viewing this on video. It's just down the bottom near Croydon and next to Lewisham as well. So those are the areas that we concentrate on when it comes to finding off-market properties to negotiate the purchase of. Now let's get back to the BRRR strategy, this buy, renovate, rent, refinance strategy in this particular live webinar with me, Lena Benjamin, at Benjamin Property Services. There is a need when it comes to the buying, the renovating, the rental element is to get the premium type of tenants for that particular property. Those tenants that will have the money to pay for the property that you renovated, and you also want to make sure that they have the salaries in order to make sure that they can rent those particular properties. Now, when it comes to the rent, you can get an online rental agent. This property technology, the prop tech industry is alive and kicking, and a lot of the high street real estate agents are closing down because it's all going online to be in line with the digital transformation that is happening across all traditional industries. So online rental agents are very easy to get on board, whether you're in this country or abroad in another part of the world. But we at Benjamin Property Services can do an open house type of environment should you come on board as a new client. Within our agreement, we have an opportunity that you can have us do an open house on your behalf, and we charge £500 for that. But as I say, you can go on to the online rental agent and they would probably charge you about the same thing. With the open house, we do the events in order to generate the types of target tenants that you're looking at, and we would make sure that we put the boards up in order to attract those tenants. And we would also do a sort of a flyer type, also marketing campaign basically to get the types of tenants that you want in your property, and we would do that for you. We'd also make sure that the tenancy agreements are in place there as well. But again, you can get that with the online rental agent there in order to get those premium tenants that you want in your property going forward. So then you've got a good property, you've got a great opportunity with those tenants, that are going to stay for 6 to 12 months. And you've got this cash flow coming in, and you've got a lot of equity now in your property. Now let's go to the opportunity for you to be able to introduce for passive 5-figure a year income at Benjamin Property Services. Now, if you don't have the means to be able to purchase properties yourself, you may want to introduce a business contact or a property investor with the financial means to do so. The financial opportunity for you is that you get 20% commission from our commission of 1.5%. Now, new clients pay a £1,000 refunded from the 1.5% commission on the first negotiated purchase deal. And for you, as an introducer to Benjamin Property Services, you basically have the opportunity, once you sign up as an introducer, you have an opportunity to get the 20% commission from our commission for a 12-month period that the introduced client comes on board. That means 12 months of passive 5-figure income for not doing much, but just introducing that contact, who then goes on to purchase multiple properties with us over a 12-month period. You get those commissions there. Now, both new clients and introducers sign up at benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk. You can digitally sign the agreements and you can come on board there at benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk. Now back to the BRRR strategy, the buy, renovate, rent, refinance. Now, the last R of the strategy is the refinance part of it. Now, it's all about making sure that we've increased the value, we've bought below market value, we've renovated the property to a high standard to attract the premium tenants, and we've got those cash flows coming in. You would have at this point got a valuation for the properties, how much it would sell for if you were to sell for it here and now, and that would be done by a registered chartered surveyor who would, from RICS, that's the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, and they would go in and do a valuation of the property. They're usually the bank who you're going to be getting a remortgage with would send a surveyor over to survey the property in order to value it, to see how much more it is worth in value. And then they use that in order to pay off what you have on the property. If you do have a mortgage, if you paid cash, that's fantastic. But if you haven't, then that pays off the mortgage, and then you can remortgage with a new lender, and you can basically take that equity and you can start again on the BRRR strategy. And then that's how you build a portfolio of properties. Great for you who want to really have a good cash flow coming in from London and Kent properties, of those properties that need to be brought up into a good standard of living for those tenants who want to be in the London and Kent areas, and great for you for cash flow and just creating a portfolio for yourselves and your legacy going forward. So let's go through the buy, renovate, rent, refinance strategy once again. So we've got buying below market value, renovate to achieve the conversion for the return on investment, then you rent to premium rental income, then you refinance in order to, once you've increased the value, to pull out the equity, and then you can start all over again. So you can have a strategy in mind with the London investing strategy. You can have this particular strategy in mind, the BRRR strategy, so that you can increase your cash flow every month from a passive income every month from this particular strategy, and you can build up a portfolio of 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5 properties going forward. And you can speak to us about that. You can also go on and look at this particular strategy on our website at benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk/BRRR-strategy. Now, our goal at Benjamin Property Services is very much goal driven for you as a client. Now, we focus on the property brief, and we look to make sure that property brief once you've signed up as a new client, is stringent enough so that you can get the strategy that you want in order to either get the cash flow, if you're going to go for a BRRR strategy, that it's right for you and it's right for the area, etc. So we get that in the property brief. Now you can do that online, or you can do that through a scheduled conversation and no obligation consultation. Online, to sign up as a new client, you can go to benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk/property-brief. Now, and as a scheduled call, no obligation, you can go to benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk/schedule. Now, once you've signed up and we've got the property brief and it's been agreed, we always look to make sure that the property or properties is in a specific area according to a strategy that works for you. And we source within a 3-month period and make sure we get the properties let out for you. If this is going to be a BRRR strategy, we negotiate on your behalf directly with the property owner as discussed. We make sure that you're always sent regular property reports so you know what is happening and what we've negotiated on your behalf. You look at those particular properties and you can either go through all of them, because some of the property owners may have several different properties in the area that you're looking for, and we've negotiated a good deal on the whole shebang, so that's great for you. And we then look to project manage and refurbish or make the structural changes to the property, and that will be free of charge on this particular property search and acquisition agreement with us as a new client. We make sure the property is ready for occupancy, and then we can actually, as I said, arrange an open house, or we can work with a realtor to the local area, who knows the local area and has tenants already on their books ready to move in. Now, we work for you, unlike estate agents who work on behalf of the seller or the landlord. We're about empowering your business of property investing, flipping and or relocation goals with a focused London and Kent property sourcing service, and that's delivered by us at Benjamin Property Service, an experienced team working collaboratively with others. Now, should you have any questions to ask, there's a frequently asked questions on the website at benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk/FAQs. It will give questions like, or answers to questions to things like how do you source real estate, can I get started online, when do you start sourcing, etc., etc. And all of that information is online. You can also get in touch with me, Lena Benjamin, property consultant and online membership coordinator at the Benjamin Property Services, and Property Business Club at Lena B at benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk. You can go and get started on the online and get started on the website at benjaminpropertyservices.co.uk. You can call the 24/7 client line on UK 44208 720 6460. You can call me on my mobile, which is 44751 412 400, and that's on Telegram and FaceTime /iMessage for those outside of the UK. Thanks very much for listening, and I will see you on the next webinar.